Have a great day. Keep practicing your listening and improving your vocabulary with daily podcasts.
Never too late to learn. George Dawson was a successful man. Was he famous? No, he wasn't. He was just an ordinary man who did something extraordinary. George Dawson lived in 3 centuries, from 1898 to 2001. He was born in Texas, the grandson of slaves. At that time, there were fewer opportunities for African Americans. Dawson was the oldest of 5 children. His family was very poor, so George had to work to help his family. He started working for his father when he was only 4 years old. As a result, he didn't have a chance to get an education. He didn't learn to read and write. He signed his name with an X. When Dawson was 98 years old, he decided to go to school. He wanted to learn to read and write. He went to adult literacy classes. The teacher asked him, "Do you know the alphabet?" When he answered no, his teacher was surprised. Over the next few years, his teacher taught Dawson to read and write. Dawson said, "Every morning I get up and I wonder what I might learn that day." Richard Globman read an article about Dawson in the newspaper and wanted to meet him. Globman helped Dawson write a book about Dawson's life called Life is So Good. Dawson was 102 when the book was published. Dawson wrote about what makes a person happy. He learned from his father to see the good things in life. They had a close family, and George never felt lonely. Dawson says in the book, "People worry too much. Life is good, just the way it is." Was George Dawson a success? He definitely was. He enjoyed life and accomplished his goal, learning to read and write.
Success in changing laws. Today, all people in the United States have equal rights under the law. But this was not always the case, especially for African Americans. Even though slavery in the United States ended in 1865, blacks continued to suffer discrimination and segregation, especially in the South. Many hotels and restaurants used to serve white customers only. Many businesses used to have signs in their windows that said, "Blacks not allowed." Black children used to go to separate and often inferior schools. Many professions were for whites only. Even in sports, blacks could not join the major baseball leagues. There used to be separate leagues for them. In many places in the South, buses used to reserve the front seats for white people. But that all changed. One evening in December of 1955, Rosa Parks, a 42-year-old woman, got on a bus in Montgomery, Alabama, to go home from work. She was tired and sat down. When some white people got on the crowded bus, the bus driver ordered Ms. Parks to stand up. Ms. Parks refused. The bus driver called the police, and they arrested Ms. Parks. Martin Luther King Jr., a black minister living in Montgomery, Alabama, wanted to put an end to discrimination. When King heard about Ms. Parks's arrest, he told African Americans in Montgomery to boycott the bus company. People who used to ride the bus to work decided to walk instead. As a result of the boycott, the Supreme Court outlawed discrimination on public transportation. About 100 years after the end of slavery, Congress passed the Civil Rights Act of 1964. This law officially gave equality to all Americans. The law made discrimination in employment and education illegal. King won the Nobel Peace Prize for his work in creating a better world. Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, and other brave people succeeded in changing unfair laws.